they can hear me as soon as I get here. They're pretty clued in to the car, so I haven't got a self-timing door on them yet. It's one thing I do need to do, but at the moment, because it's just freshly set up and we've got the predator issues and stuff, I prefer to come up manually. So turn off the electric fencing and I'll get in and let them out. The other thing we haven't got yet is a gate for the electric fence, so I still have to climb over it, and then they're ready to come out. So we're in the little makeshift shed. You can see there's wire on the roof, tin sides. This is the side that I said I've still got to finish cladding because this is still plastic. And one little chore that I need to do is clean this. So this space is a little bit too small for all of these chickens, and because I've got a door on each side where I can put the nest boxes and where I can hang the perches is limited. So every day or every other day I just have to come in and I just have to kind of scrape this off. I use a paint scraper as I've shown you before, and then there's a chicken in the bucket, which is very helpful. Thank you very much. Oh goodness. Right, there we go. And then just pop it into the bucket. I don't mind a few little chores like that coming in here every day, because being with the chickens for a few minutes gives you the chance to watch them, look at the behaviour, pick up any possible sick or injured birds. So that's one of the little chores I've got to do now. I've just got to scrape all this beautiful poop off, and then that can go straight into the compost heap. It's got hot up here already, so I've derobed. So I thought we would just take you, while I'm up on this field, to a little find that we discovered. It was actually when our friend Molly was up here about a week ago that we found it. You will meet Molly in time. She's a close friend of mine, and she's one of the most trusted livestock keepers I know, so she'll be up here helping out. But I thought we'd just go up. So last year we found, well, I found one single common lizard, and we were up here and we found an entire colony. So I'm going to see if they're out. It's quite early in the morning. They might not be basking yet. They're a very, very cool species. They, although they lay eggs, they actually keep them internally, so they give birth to live young, essentially. But let's see if we can find any. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about today is theft on the farm, especially for those of us that aren't living on site. It's actually a real worry, because you've really got no control over who can come onto your land and what they can potentially steal. A police officer once told me that anything is stealable. If a thief or a burglar wants it bad enough, then they'll get it. All that we can do is just put up as many barriers as possible to make that procedure as hard as possible and take as long as possible, so that they don't even try, because it's more likely they're going to get caught. So moving here and then obviously not being on the land it's been a real concern about what could happen, what I could find when I come up in the morning with things just disappeared. So I just want to talk briefly about a few things that we've taken into consideration to kind of try and safeguard our land, our stock, and also put in place so that if we are burgled, if we do have things stolen, we kind of have the best opportunity to catch those thieves. So one of the first things that we were thinking about when it came to security on the farm was obviously cameras. But there is the difficulty with cameras, because most cameras require a Wi-Fi signal to send the footage to, and also a battery or a mains operation. And when you've got a field that's got no utilities, like many of you might have, or where we've got the farm where we don't have any electricity, so there we don't have a Wi-Fi port, it was really, really hard. So I started looking online at various options I could use And funnily enough, just after I'd been searching, the really, really nice guys at Reolink just happened to coincidentally send me an email and say, hey, do you want to try one of our products? And I said, yes, please. So they sent me one of their cameras. Now these are Reolink cameras. Here it is. They are super cool because they work on 4G, so they are not working via Wi-Fi. So they have a SIM card, a micro SIM that goes inside. It comes with the camera. In the UK, it is Vodafone. It comes with the camera, and you pay a fee. So you pay £4. I'm paying £4 a month for this Reolink Vodafone SIM card, and it sends the footage to me onto an app on my phone. It's motion sensor, and it's also got audio control. So if I'm sat at home and suddenly my Reolink sends me some footage to say, it's been triggered by a motion sensor, I can look down, I can tell the fox to naff off, I can tell the sparrowhawk to go away and stop bothering my budgies, or I can say, look, I can see you guys, listen to what I'm saying, I'm going to send this footage to the police, naff off my land, and don't come near me again, otherwise I'm going to report you and show this footage to the police. So I really highly advise Reolink. Now they're not the cheapest things in the world, I will admit. However, when it comes to the peace of mind of protecting your livestock and making sure that when you're not there, you do actually have the means to kind of look after your animals and keep your stuff safe, I really highly advise it. Now, the nice thing with this is it doesn't use batteries either. So it has a battery in it that you can recharge from a mains, from a USB, but also you can buy separately this solar power unit, again Reolink solar power unit, so you can basically hook it up, attach it to a tree. It's got a little attachment that screws into the base here, attach it to a tree, your barn, wherever, focus it wherever you want, and it basically will work off the solar power. So I'm really, really happy with this. I will drop a link in the description below so you can check it out for yourself and see if it might be something that is of use to you. Combined with security cameras, also put up signs saying, 24-hour CCTV, smile you on camera, all those sorts of things, because if thieves think they're going to get caught and there might be footage of them, they are way less likely to come and even attempt to take stuff. They're going to go somewhere else instead. So a thing that you might not consider, but actually is really important, is product placement or animal placement, because if you put things where people can see it, there can be an issue. So it's very nice, and when we first moved here I thought, oh, won't it be nice to have the sheep grazing right down by the road, we can plant up the lavender fields down by the road, but then actually that is advertising what you have to sell. So I would suggest, and what we're going to do is we're going to keep all of our expensive stuff away from the road. So we'll have our market stall obviously down there. We'll probably have our kind of sunflower patches and flower patches for pick your own down by the roads to advertise you can come in and you can pick stuff for a fee. But things like electric fencing, for example, if you've got an electric fence energizer flashing in the dead of night, it's going to say, look, there's an expensive electric fence system here, come and steal it. So we're going to keep all of our big livestock away. We're lucky, we've got 3, 4, probably 4.5 of our 5 big fields are surrounded in trees, and so you can't really see them. So if you're worried, really try and think about not advertising what you've got on your land to just random passers-by, because although most people are very nice in this world and will want to see what you've got and maybe come and be customers, there are those odd few that are going to make life horrible. Now this might sound really obvious, but fences, gates and padlocks are so important. And you might think, well, yeah, obviously, but if you buy a brand new piece of land or you move into a brand new piece of land like we have here, you don't always have those things done already. And your priorities might be in getting stock. My granddad didn't have any of those things here because he relied on traditional hedgerows to keep your livestock into your fields. And over the 20-30 years that it's just been left, any gates are long gone. So we have no gates, we have no padlocks, we have no fences. So that's one major thing that we need to do, because you want to make any thief's life as difficult as possible. You don't want them to be able to just drive their truck and their trailer straight into your field, load up your animals and drive off. the longer they've got to fart around trying to break in, the longer they're likely to get caught. So obviously fencing is super expensive, and we are using mostly electric fencing to maintain and keep the animals in. We are getting fencing. My parents have paid really nicely to have the fencing put along the entire roadside and up our drive as kind of a security for the dogs, so we know the dogs can't run off into the road, but also, again, just to make it a little bit more difficult to access. The road not only has the drive, but the road also has a kind of gap in the hedgerow and the ditch where tractors can come onto the land, and that's the place where we're going to have our market garden. But we're going to put in a double set of gates there that will be padlocked, so cars and things will be able to pull in and access our roadside market, but they won't be able to get onto the land. So again, it's an obvious thing, but it's something you've really got to think about, and that we've had to really think about and prioritise in terms of safeguarding our land and making it difficult for people to come along and steal stuff. Now, another little thing that people might not think about, I mean, it's mostly when it comes to social media, is do you really want to name your social media branding and farm the same as your actual property farm? So for example, this is Brimwood Farm, and I trade under the name Brimwood Farm, and all my labels for regulations, my egg labels, my veggie labels and stuff, say Brimwood Farm, and they have this address on. However, my actual address here is not Brimwood Farm, because you have to think that I am showcasing all of my wonderful stuff to all you guys, and I love that you watch it. But for potential thieves out there, I'm also saying, look at all my stuff. I don't want them to be able to go online, go onto Google, type in Brimwood Farm, and there's a bullseye on Google Maps as to where we are. So if you are setting up social media stuff, be really careful about not actually using your real address or your real farm name as your brand name online, because there isn't another Brimwood Farm in the world as far as I can see. So if Brimwood Farm ever got put onto the Google Maps, there's only one destination, and then you're putting yourself at a massive risk. And unfortunately, I do know somebody that this happened to, and they were very carefree with their address, and they ended up having a theft, and quite a lot of things got stolen. So that's really important to think about. And then finally, insurance is so important. So at some point a theft may occur, and you must make sure that you're insured to cover those losses. Insurance really isn't very expensive, and you need it in the UK certainly. I don't know about other places, but you need it in the UK if you are selling any food or products, because as soon as you start going to farmers markets, they want like 3 million in liability in case you sell something that has a bad reaction with somebody and makes somebody ill. So you have to have it anyway. So it seems pointless getting it and not covering yourself for theft. Things cost a lot of money. I'm collecting the sheep and stuff, for example, but in a couple of years' time, if I've got rare breed Norfolk horns, I could have a ram that's worth £5,000 alone. So it's really, really important to get the insurance and make sure that you're covered, because theft is a horrible thing and it makes you just feel awful. And then if you're then told not only have you lost your beloved livestock, but you actually then can't afford to replace it because you haven't got insurance, that could end a dream. So get insurance, really get insurance. Just as a kind of an idea, we've got the 47 acres here, and we are covered for 10 mil liability and theft and all sorts, and it's all broken down into categories. So I've said how much the value of my chickens is, how much the value of my sheep are, how much the value, so it's all broken down into that sort of thing, and it costs me £600 a year. I think personally that is for the peace of mind of knowing if the worst happens, if the barn burns down, if somebody comes and steals my sheep, I can replace my flock. For the peace of mind, £600, it's not a lot of money, especially if you break it down to monthly payments. This is by no means supposed to be a doom and gloom video at all. I just want you to be super prepared, because I personally know, and you probably know if you've come to land, how exciting it is when you get there and you just want to crack on with loads of projects. And the last thing I want for us or for you is to be so excited and crack on with all those adventures and then be blindsided by the very small minority of people in life that actually want to come along and do some damage. So please think about the things I've said. I'm going to think about the things I've said and make sure I do prioritise them and don't get sidetracked. And hopefully then we can farm and smallholding and homestead happily and be in the safe and peaceful knowledge that actually we're going to be okay and we're going to be safe from burglars. So thanks so much for watching the video, and as always, if you've liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing if you want to follow our journey here at Brimwood Farm. If you've got any questions or comments, please just look in the comment section below, and also remember I put that link to the Rio Link camera below so you can check it out if you're looking for something similar that works over 4G and not Wi-Fi. If you're on Facebook, come across and join us at Brimwood Farm's community group, but for now I shall say goodbye. Bye bye.